Most video games involve either getting killed, killing other people, or usually both. While killing other people usually feels pretty good in the game, getting killed by someone else really always feels pretty bad. Of course, there are other ways to die that feel a lot worse than others. Hey guys, Arcade Cloud here, and today we're counting down our list of the top 10 worst ways to die in video games. If you're new to our channel, go ahead and subscribe and hit that bell. Give this video a thumbs up and share it with some friends. It's free. Number 10. Insta-kills that you don't see coming. Getting killed with no time to react to anything is probably the worst feeling you've ever had in a video game. You could just be walking alone, minding your own business, and then all of a sudden you get taken out by an instant kill that you just don't see coming. This can happen in both multiplayer games and in some pretty cheap scenarios in single-player games too. I think the worst game for this has to be PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Sniping in that game is actually out of control. I do tend to prefer PUBG over Fortnite personally, but I do point out that this is one of the game's worst flaws. Because of how big the map is and how many people are in a single game, there could be someone else out there tracking you with a sniper rifle at any point in the game and you would never even know it. You might be running across a field, driving a car down some road, or happily looting away, and then all of a sudden, bang, a guy from half the map away has taken off your head with a sniper. Don't get me wrong, I know that kind of thing takes a lot of skill, but it doesn't make getting killed out of the blue feel any better. Number 9. Your controller runs out of batteries. If you play video games on a console, then it's pretty likely that you've experienced this one in the past. Ever since the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, wireless controllers have taken over. I mean, I guess I can understand why. With a wireless controller, you can sit literally anywhere in a room and play video games without having to worry about an annoying wire getting in the way of everything. But playing with a wireless controller has one specific drawback that a wired controller never had to worry about. Unlike those old school wired controllers, you're relying on batteries. One of the worst ways to die is, in the middle of a firefight, your batteries suddenly die. While you might have been running around destroying people for a second before, now your character will just be, standing there, waiting for someone to shoot you, while in the real world, you're desperately scrambling around for a charging cable or a new set of batteries to plug in. This always happens at the worst of times, and when you're finally set up to go again, you've likely already been killed. Number 8. Getting pushed off a cliff. There's some pretty disrespectful ways to get killed, but getting pushed off of a cliff has to be the worst one of all. It's like the person that took you out didn't even need to shoot you to kill you, all they needed to do was gently push you off a giant cliff and then watch you fall to your death. I think one of the worst offenders for this is Lucio from Overwatch. It's like parts of his kit were just designed to throw you off cliffs. He has this little pulse weapon that on a right click will knock you back but doesn't do any damage, which seems harmless, right? Well, yeah, sure, unless you're next to a big chasm of death. Then there's also the impulse grenades from Fortnite. A lot of people use them as a way to move around the map, but the most humiliating way to use them is to throw people off of their buildings or off of tall cliffs. Nothing is worse than having a good loadout on Fortnite only to die from being impulse grenaded off of a cliff. Number 7. Being first blood on a battle royale game. The joy of winning a battle royale game comes from the knowledge that you basically had to defeat 99 other people to get to that point. It doesn't matter how many people you actually managed to take out yourself, you still had to outlive 99 other people to take the chicken dinner or the victory royale, or whatever Paladins is doing, I guess. Being first blood in a battle royale game is basically the complete opposite of that. Instead of beating 99 other people, you're the worst out of them all. You got beat by 99 other people, and that feels worse than anything else. There's always got to be someone that's got to be first blood, so the fact that it was you is a little bit embarrassing. The only way you actually lose that quickly in a battle royale game is if you get really unlucky. Like if you drop down into a populated area and just miss out on grabbing a weapon before your opponent. It's seriously one of the worst feelings ever, just watching your enemy grab a gun, turn around, and then blow you away before you've even gotten a chance to come out on top. Number 6. Concussion via care package in Modern Warfare. Now you might not know this, but back in the older days of Call of Duty, you could get killed by your teammates even if you weren't on hardcore mode. You had to be really unlucky to get killed by a teammate in this way, but whenever it happened, it would be the worst feeling ever. I'm of course talking about being crushed by a friendly care package. In earlier Call of Duty games, the care package was a deadly weapon, killing people in a single hit if it landed on them no matter what team they were on. It was super rare, but sometimes people just accidentally walked underneath the area a care package was dropping at the exact wrong time and then got squished by it. It didn't take any skill, just a lot of bad luck, and that's why it felt so bad. Number 5. A grenade you threw yourself. Getting killed by grenades is bad enough. It kind of fits into that instant kill from nowhere thing I was talking about earlier, where there's just a one-shot kill that appears and takes you out. What's worse than getting killed by a grenade? Getting killed by a grenade that you threw yourself. This one is so bad just because it's completely avoidable as far as dying goes. I mean, you're the one that threw the grenade. This means that you should know where it came from, where it's going, and how long is left until it explodes. Sometimes people just seem to forget that they threw a grenade and then run straight into it. Other times people bounce a grenade off the wall right back into their faces. Either way, it's a pretty bad way to die. Number 4. Falling damage. Falling damage has got to be one of the worst things to die to ever. There have been so many times in a game of Call of Duty where I just take a little bit too much damage before doing a jump off a building or out of a window or something, and it's led me to instantly dying, just because I hit the ground a little too hard. Or sometimes when I'm playing PUBG, I'll get stuck up in a mountain with the circle pushing me out of my position with like no way down. Then you have to somehow jump down without dying, and you die anyway way because if you mess up a jump and the circle is already eating away at your health, it's not gonna be good. Jumping to your death is basically in-game suicide, and when you do it by accident, it feels pretty terrible. Number 3, poison without antidote. If you don't have an antidote, getting poisoned is a pretty bad time. I can remember pretty vividly having one of my Pokemon poisoned back in the 3rd generation of Pokemon games. For those of you who didn't play the series back then, if you got one of your Pokemon poisoned and then finished the fight, it stayed poisoned in its Pokeball as you walked around. This meant that even if you had won the fight, your Pokemon had a pretty high risk of dying if you didn't get the right berries or medicine to get it healed back up. But this doesn't just apply to Pokemon either, it applies to pretty much any game that has a poison mechanic. Nothing feels worse than slowly dying and not being able to do anything about it. You might as well just give up. At least most of the other deaths on this list are quick and painless, but dying this way is slow and painful. Number 2, failed QuickTime event. QuickTime events by themselves are pretty bad, like just dumbing down the gameplay at really intense moments so you have to do barely anything other than push a button. Doesn't feel good, and sometimes it breaks the flow of gameplay in the game. What feels even worse is when you somehow mess that QuickTime event up and get killed for it, and then have to watch the cutscene again. QuickTime events are usually pretty easy, but if they take you by surprise, then it's pretty easy to mess them up and miss the button entirely. If you do this, you usually get set back to just before the QuickTime event happens, and since they usually happen with some kind of cutscene, that means you have to sit through it all over again. QuickTime events are really the most simple of things in a video game, so dying to them has just got to suck. And number 1, lag. I know, it's the most obvious thing to complain about, getting killed because of lag. Complaining about lag is a meme now, just because so many people complain about it even if the game isn't actually lagging. But when a game actually does lag, well, then you know about it, and it feels pretty bad. You'll have people rubber banding all over the screen, your bullets will feel like they're being eaten by your enemies, and you'll just suddenly die from enemy rounds no matter what you do. Lag is probably the worst thing that can happen to someone playing online games, and it can totally ruin kill streaks or win streaks. Like, how many times have you died one off of a nuke because of lag in Modern Warfare 2? Exactly, you know how bad that feels. And there you have it, our list of the top 10 worst ways to die in video games. Do you agree? Did we miss something? Let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe for more great videos from Arcade Cloud on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Take care and game on.